time. Is careening uncontrollably through time worse than high school? Find out in tonight's episode. Time flies with time pies.
The time machine zapped me to 1975, in the middle of Halloween. I wished we still celebrated where I was from, when I was from. I'd always wanted to witness the ancient tradition. I'm Dawn Anderson, amateur time traveler and high school junior in 3204. School isn't perfect, though. I needed a better grade in history. Well, and biology and, let's just say, history was my most pressing need. So I'd borrowed my dad's time machine. Everybody had a TimePak, but they weren't for kids. Though I wasn't just any kid. I'd read every story that existed about time travel, what problems their writers thought would cause trouble. Being separated from the device seemed to be the most common, which was why I'd sewn my unit into my jacket. TimePak told us you could only go back 1,000 years at the absolute most, but I'd found a better power source that could take me even further back. The humble McDonald's apple pie. When microwaved, it produced a crazy number of ergs. I watched a group of kids dressed as cowboys and superheroes and princesses and ghosts walk up to a house. They rang the doorbell. A bearded man in a sweatshirt answered and dropped candy from a bowl into the bags the kids held out. Why had we given up this custom but kept McDonald's? The TimePak's warning sensor went off. Weapon detected. I looked around. Only a 10 or 11-year-old boy dressed as a policeman? He held a gun. It must be real. He probably didn't know it. Maybe he had grabbed it from the house. What kind of parents did he have? I had to do something. Nice costume, I said to the boy. You look like a real, constable. He squinted at me.
Huh?
I mean, cop. He turned to his friends. Somebody told a joke. They all laughed. The kid put down the gun and reached into his bag of candy. I grabbed the weapon.
That lady stole my gun.
He yelled with a lollipop in his mouth. Nearby adults frowned at me.
What the hell, lady?
A woman in a witch's hat said.
You taking candy too?
I hit the auto-return button on my TimePak. Nothing. I must be out of apple pie. I took off.
Stop!
Somebody yelled. Maybe the boy's dad, for all I knew. We were in a busy street. Trying to ditch the parents and the kids, I cut through a hardware store. I raced past the cash register, knocked over a stack of paint cans. Sorry, I said, and ran toward the back of the building. 2 men stood by a cart that blocked the narrow aisle. I shoved the cart out of the way. It slammed into a shelf. Bottles and boxes fell on the floor. I could have ditched the gun, but who knew who might pick it up? I had to get away from all the people. One of the parents yelled.
Come on, give it back!
I leapt over a box. The aisle dead-ended in a display of electrical supplies. I turned right and saw a door. A sign on the wall said, "Emergency exit only. Alarm will sound." The siren shrieked when I pushed the door open. There was a McDonald's across the street. The pedestrian light said, "Don't walk," but I bolted into traffic. I had 20 cents from my dad's time-traveling supplies, not enough money for 2 apple pies. I hated to travel without a spare. They had a special on cherry pies. That'd have to do. I wasn't crazy about experimenting, but I didn't have much choice. I ran into the McDonald's and slapped the old coins on the counter. "A cherry pie, please," the clerk said.
This dime's from 1995.
I tried to remember what I'd learned about currency in cultural anthropology class. We didn't use coins in 3204. I said, "Must be a strike error. I bet it's worth more than 10 cents.
Groovy,
he said, and stuck the dime in his pocket instead of putting it in the cash register. Through the window, I saw 4 very angry dads, a pirate, a robot, a vampire, and a clown. They scanned the street. They'd spot me soon. The clerk used tongs to pluck a pie from the rotating rack. The bell over the door dinged when the dad, wearing an eye patch and carrying a sword, entered the McDonald's.
Look, miss,
Pirate Dad called out.
I don't want any trouble.
I leaned across the counter and grabbed the pie. When I shoved it into my jacket's hidden compartment, hot filling oozed out and singed my fingers. Instantly, the TimePak hummed. I tried to rotate the time dial, but it wouldn't budge. TimePak would never take responsibility for this glitch, since I was the one who messed with the power source of their device. I shoved the dial again. It clicked and rotated all the way to the left. I gritted my teeth and braced for liftoff. Whoosh! Holy crap! Tyrannosaurus Rex had feathers?
Dawn of Time is a production of Stupefying Stories and Rampant Loon Press. Bruce Bethke, publisher and editor. This episode was written by Ray Daly and Alicia Hilton. Story editor, Pete Wood. Assistant story editor, Roxana Arama. Starring Rebecca Bloom as Dawn Anderson with Seth Bloom and Lucinda Gainey. Dialogue recording and editing by Lucinda Gainey. Sound design and post-production by Roel Gorman at Imaginator Productions. Copyright 2022 by Stupefying Stories and Rampant Loon Press.